Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's Down and Dirty. We're going to talk about a couple different ways that you can load trucks in an excavator if you're going for really maximum efficiency. There's a couple different ways you can stack up trucks that will just save you some time, and we'll kind of go through those and we'll talk about proper loading technique. So with that being said, let's go to the top-down view. Let's look at our die cast. So what we've got here today, we've got our beautiful off-road truck and we have our Kobelco SK500, and we're going to pretend that he is sitting, imagine this is elevated and he's sitting up on a bench loading out trucks as they come through. So one of the first key concepts I want to talk about is the way that you bring your trucks in. As a new operator, you may think that there's no rhyme or reason, just bring the trucks in. Well, there's one key concept that's very important to understand when it comes to loading trucks, and that is don't ever swing a full bucket over the cab of a truck. And so let's say we were loading here, we go out, we take our scoop, there we go, we're all happy, we've got this huge heaping bucket full of material because we're really good operators, and then we go and swing and we went right over the cab of that truck. Well, why is that a problem? Well, as you guys are aware, dirt weighs a lot. Rocks weigh a lot. And if we've got heaped buckets and we're swinging over the cab and one of those rocks comes out, guess what happens with your operator? You've now endangered your operator. So it's very, very, very important you don't ever swing over the cab of trucks, which naturally means the best way to bring in trucks is from the other way. So let's back her up, let's bring her in, and look at here. My God, that is awesome. Now we can swing over. We might even bump him out just a little bit to save us a little time. And now we're going to be able to dump right in the back and we're not going to swing over the cab. But now let's think about the placement of that truck. Look at how far I've had to swing over in order to properly load that truck. I'm almost past 90 here. And if we've learned anything on this channel as we've known, gotten to know more, it's that efficiency is everything, production is everything, and we want to cut down on cycle time, right? Well, if I'm having to swing all the way past 90, that's killing my production time because it's wasted swing time. So what if we were able to angle our bucket right about here, and we backed our truck up to where his cab is almost even with the machine? Well, now look at how much swing time. We're still able to reach our site just fine. Look at what that's done to our swing time though. Our cycle time is down because now I'm not having to swing as far. I can still comfortably reach his box. That's cut down on a lot of time, especially if you're doing consistent stockpiling like this, where we're just loading off of a bench. That's going to add up a ton over the day. But we can do better. And this is where you're going to have to work with your operators. You're going to have to talk with your drivers. This isn't something people are inherently going to know. If there's time, as you're taking your scoop, let's say we had another truck here, he drives off. If you're going and taking your other scoop and your operators have time, if they pull in and then they angle back just a little bit, it's not going to take a lot. Now let's look at what this has done for us. And again, we want to kind of end up with our cab being just about even with the cab on our machine. Now let's see what that's done for us. So we take our scoop and we're going to grab a big old scoop. And remember, this is an SK500. This is a large excavator, which means it carries a lot of material, but it's also got a slow cycle time because you're moving a lot of weight. One of the things that takes forever on these things is booming up and down, because that's just a lot of, it's a lot of weight. It's a really big cylinders. Those are some of the biggest cylinders on your machine, and it takes time to pump enough hydraulic fluid to really get those things up. So what if instead of having to lift all the way over the side rail, what if we only had to lift over the back of this gate back here? And this only works on off-road trucks because the gate is lower. On-road trucks is not going to make a difference because the height of the box is consistent through the whole thing. But on these trucks here without the tailgate, now we only have to lift past the height of the tailgate. And so now we've not only saved a bunch on our swing time, because there's the front of the truck pretty much by the time you heap the material. I haven't had to raise up nearly as high. I can dump. I'm right around 45 degrees on my swing angle. And now I've saved all of this extra boom up time. And you're going to find this setup is very common in quarry applications where they are running really, really big iron that's very slow on the cycle times but moves a tremendous quantity. Because believe it or not, this little bit, you're talking a couple feet of boom here, that actually makes a material difference on your cycle time throughout the course of a day because of the fact that these machines boom up so slow. And so this can actually save you a lot of time. Again, this is only going to work if you have Operators in your trucks that know enough of what they're doing that they can do this for you. You may take a little time to get them trained and just be patient and work with them. But once you get your truck stack doing this consistently, this is going to save you a lot of time. Now, again, I do want to reiterate, I know I'm already going to get a bunch of flack in the comments about perfect conditions, blah, blah, blah. Yes, this works in perfect conditions. If I have my truck drive off and I am not ready with my second truck here, if I've still got to wait on this second truck, and so I'm sitting here with my boom in the air with the excavator just waiting, it makes no sense to do the extra step of having your truck pull in and back up. You're actually going to lose cycle time then because you're just waiting on the truck. So what I would do is we'll return to this situation to where he's just going to pull up alongside me. Yeah, it's a little extra boom up, but we didn't have to wait an extra 30 seconds for our driver to pull forward, back up, maybe adjust once or twice. And so that's going to be the ideal way to load a truck. So this works, obviously, both of these scenarios work with an on-road or off-road truck. The only thing that's going to change between off-road and on-road trucks is, like we talked about, this rear tailgate here. Your on-road trucks are just always going to have a tailgate. It's really not going to save you all the cycle time. But still, if you can, even with on-road trucks, if you can line up with the arc of the swing of the machine, that is going to save you some cycle times. It's going to make you more efficient. So as always, I hope this has been helpful. I hope the little die casts have helped you see some of these dynamics a little easier than when you're on a job site trying to show the grand overview of everything. Sometimes it's a little difficult to see these concepts. So ask questions down in the comments if you got them. We'll catch you guys on the next Down and Dirty.